like Dominic had told a story about some guy who had a lot of money, and Dominic actually probably saved his life. Neil Bainey and guys that we both of us knew these guys, and but Dominic knew him really well too. Actually, did business with them in a way in this respect where he could talk to them like this. I don't know if he got exactly what business if he did anything with them like that, but he did talk to them. And they had to give money. They were shaking this guy down. This guy would have been shaken down to this day. And there's a guy who's got a ton of money, and I guess maybe Dominic wanted him to back him up or help him with something with a real estate thing and everything. And this guy kind of like made it look like he didn't want nothing to do with Dominic, but he forgot about what good Dominic did for him. So to me, when I hear about a guy like that, I think that's a scumbag. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because there's a lot of guys out there that was helped by somebody, whether they have money or not or whatever. They're like, "Thank you. Is there anything I can do for you?" Because they actually want to not repay, but make it feel good about, "Hey, you helped me. Don't worry about it. Thank you." Like that kind of thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing to do. I don't want to owe anybody anything or feel like I owe anybody anything. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So it's like that kind of thing. And I bring that up because that was just a recent thing he said in a few podcasts before. You know?
It's such a like funny dynamic because there's like these some of these mob guys. It sounds like they're so honorable in some ways. You know, like no, we don't. You know, they're so to their guns on some morals, but then like you turn around and then they're doing other things that are morally pretty shady. You know what I mean? It's like they pick and choose what they wanted to,
Well,
be stand up against and stuff.
it's like you talk about certain guys in there, and I don't want to go back and forth and stuff like that, but there's some guys who said they say they're not going to deal with riots, and then they do behind people's backs. Or you get in prison, you just say, "Oh, I don't deal with black people," but then you do when you're in prison. It's like some guys say, "I'm never going to fool around with another guy's wife," and then they do anyway.
Right.
It just depends on what level you are and what kind of power you think you got. Some people think they're untouchable. And you just, yeah, they say you got to follow the rules, but then they don't. They don't. No drugs, no drugs. And then meanwhile, the guy's in the back snorting coke. It's like it is a little bit. There's a lot of hypocrites in that life too. You know what I mean? Look, that's why I was fortunate. To be honest with you, I was very fortunate to get the right people around me when I was with Dominic. Very fortunate.
If you were caught in some kind of racket, whatever it be, illegal sports betting, or whatever the case may be, uh, does the feds take all of your? Do they confiscate all that money?
Sure.
And like what were some methods that guys used to like kind of hide it or wash it to where like maybe the feds would get some of it, but they made a little bit of it disappear.
Offshore accounts, different names. There's so many ways to do it. I don't want to say everything in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of ways to hide money.
Mm-hmm.
But the most part, most people know, different names, different accounts and stuff like that. And there's
And under an LLC.
yeah, there's legal ways to do it as well too. I mean, listen, there's people who got accounts and the guy's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. They don't know who's who. They go to another country, and the guy's got all his credentials and everything, and that guy's dead. Yeah, yeah. There's so many things you could do because the government wants to keep track of everything that you do, whether it doesn't matter. They don't
Good
want
or bad. They want to know about
good,
it.
bad, indifferent. You could be. They want to keep you at a certain level. This country is good for people who are innovatives and stuff like that, and people like that. I mean, we always say bring your best and brightest over here, but the bottom line is the government wants to keep you down.